Do you like scary stuff? No? Well, you've come to the right place. Today I'm going to be talking about the scariest analog horror series I've ever seen on YouTube, but in the least scary, most comedic way possible, full of memes. Now, let's get started. Sometime in the early 1900s, a bunch of fleshy creatures showed up out of nowhere and now live among us. They're called Vita Carnis, or living meat, which technically describes pretty much every living thing on the planet, but whatever. There are multiple types. First up, we have the weed. The weed is a bunch of fleshy vines that grow super fast, and they're basically like kudzu. They're everywhere. However, instead of being an invasive species and ruining all the plants wherever they are, they actually help the economy. Ecology. Oncology. Exhibition. This thing! The reason being that, as it grows, the older parts of it will decay, leaving behind a bunch of nutrients for other plants. This means that there's more food for herbivores, so more herbivores for the carnivores to eat, and generally good vibes all around. However, it also spawns all the other Vita Carnis, so I guess you could say it's the root of all evil. Haha. Get it? Cause anyway, let's move on to the second creature lifeform thingy, the small boy. The small boy looks like a skinned raccoon, or a red tardigrade, or a turtle with legs. They enjoy long walks on the beach, listening to the radio, and screaming into the void. While their habits of looting trash cans and eating everything that isn't tied down, and a few things that are, make many people consider them pests, others even keep them as pets. More on that later. They spawn from little zits that grow on the weed, and are often eaten by predators, given that they grow to no larger than a basketball. And, I mean, I can totally understand. How can you look at this and not get hungry? Next, the gross danger noodle. This disgusting abomination and affront to all that is good in the universe is a worm-snake thingy that can grow to the size of a horse or larger. They eat dead things, because of course they do, and smell like Satan's unwashed socks. People use them for corpse disposal, janitorial work, drug trafficking, and accounting. Don't ask. Mercifully, these sacks of offal are non-aggressive, which is good because they're also nigh invincible. They have survived being shot, blown up, boiled, and exposed to country music with no ill effects. Next creature, Mimip. Mimips look like tall, thin humanoids and have turned eating people into their sole personality trait. They look similar to small boys when newly hatched from the weed pustules, but are thinner and only have 4 limbs. Do not pet. Hence their name, They are good at mimicking things, and will disguise themselves with clothes or even hide inside furniture in order to hunt prey. That's us. Mimics will target one individual, stalk them for a while, and then attack when they're most vulnerable, such as while sleeping, alone, or making TikToks. They then go stand outside in the woods for 3 to 5 business days while they wait for their food to digest. If spotted by their prey, mimics will use their impressive vocal abilities to attempt to confuse their prey. And now, for our first actual footage of a Vita Carnis. As we can see here, someone is attempting to hide from a mimic that is in their house. Armed with the world's worst flashlight, they hide in a closet, while making sure to keep the flashlight on so the mimic can find them easier, just to keep things fair. Okay, I'm sorry, but that kind of looks like something out of Garten of Banban. The special effects team that did their best, okay? Once they've eaten enough people, mimics will start to look like them, growing skin, hair, and becoming basically indistinguishable from normal people. These mimics often take up careers as politicians or lawyers. If they eat even more, they turn into a boomer mimic. These boomer mimics will complain about the younger ones, nap a lot, and make weird posts on Facebook. Now, what should you do if you encounter a mimic? Well, don't worry, we have 2 whole videos covering that. First, when you see a mimic, hide. Or maybe make a lot of noise. Don't bother fighting back, weapons aren't very effective. Or maybe they are, I don't know. At least mimics disguising themselves as humans are still recognizable as mimics. No, wait, they're identical. I'm getting conflicting information. Look, if you see a mimic, just do whatever. I'm not your mom. Next creature. The Big Weed. The Big Weed spawns from the weed, just like most of the other carnies. Except instead of separating from the main bunch, the weedzit will grow its own root system, which extends far enough to warrant its own zip code. These roots have spikes on them, and when a person or large animal steps on the ground above them, they will spring into action, swinging around and basically going bananas. The spikes will inject venom into their targets, which paralyzes them and prevents their blood from coagulating. That means turning solid. They then pull the victim underground and absorb its nutrients. No word on how these roots manage to unbury themselves every time they want to attack something. Tip: do not attempt to use Weed Killer on the Big Weed, as it will not work. Next, the host. Named after the host of a social gathering, not the parasitic type of host. Yeah, I don't get it either. Hosts are vaguely humanoid, but their legs are rooted to the ground and their mouth is on their neck, not their head. They live solely in North America. Hosts attack by farting spores all over the place and hoping people inhale them. People who inhale these spores will experience a variety of symptoms, including, but not limited to, sneezing, nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, blisters, vomiting blisters, hair loss, hair growth, foot pain, eczema, COVID-20, mummification, reticulated splines, and fatigue. After a few hours, infected individuals will attempt to return to the host, although how the spores know how to get there is anyone's guess. Upon arriving, the person will kneel down and T-pose in front of the host to assert dominance. The host then eats one body part and wastes the rest. It is unknown how they maintain enough nutrition to stay alive. However, if an infected individual is prevented from returning to the host for 36 business hours, the effects will wear off and the person will be fine. Being picky eaters with a low population that takes forever to get food, hosts are the pandas of Vita Carnis and will probably go extinct soon. Next creature, the giant bottle opener. These things are roughly the size of the Empire State Building and do nothing except occasionally damage electronics. They live in Canada. The last creature, the orb. Ponder it.
This could be the greatest discovery of the age.
Baby.
You can really be far as decided twice as much to use and go wish for it. When you
Head on, apply directly to the forehead. Head on, apply directly to the forehead. Head on, apply directly.
Have any information of the whereabouts of...
Need a new refrigerator?
Hello everyone, it's ya boy back with another cooking video, and today we're going to make cheesy crawl penny, penne, this stuff. Ingredients: pot, pasta, crawl, cheese, green onions, salt, whatever all this stuff is. And most importantly, today's sponsor, Nutri-Coat Flavor Enhancement Powder Deluxe TMRC. Cooking instructions. Get pot. Pour water in pot. Make sure not to spill. Add salt and set pot aside to boil. Note, pot must be put on an active stove or it will not actually boil. Now get the crawl and cut it up into little pieces. Oh yeah, I don't know about you, but this makes me hungry. Just look at that. Now, put the crawl away and cut up the green onions. If you are colorblind, you can use normal onions. Now put the crawl in a skillet. I forgot if you need to turn this one on or not. If your water starts boiling, put the penne, the pasta in the water. By now, your crawl should be unrecognizable. Don't ask me why it looks like that, it just does. Add the onions and all the other crap I told you to get together. Strain the noodles. Put the pasta into a dish. Add crawl. Add cheese. You don't need to melt the cheese, as we will now be adding the flavor enhancer. If you put enough of it in here, in fact, you don't even need to cook the noodles. Don't worry, it's perfectly safe. Just ignore the hazmat suit. It's just I'm just wearing it because it's super comfy and fashionable. It'll be all the rage soon. Wait for the dish to cool to below 60 degrees Celsius or the flavor enhancer won't work because it's scared of heat. And now you can eat it. Doesn't that look good? It's so good, in fact, that I'm not even going to show myself eating any. Just trust that it totally happened. Now if you'll excuse me, I have something I need to feed to my meat snake. Why is there a big lump in my cow? Ah! Do you want a pet, but you're tired of all the cute, friendly, fun options? Then I've got just the thing for you. A trimming! Today, we're going to show you how to care for your pet trimming. First, keep the temperature relatively cool, although trimmings prefer warmer temperatures to sleep in. To make a bed for your trimming, literally just chuck some blankets in a cardboard box. That's it. Food. Trimmings eat just about anything, so feel free to use yours as a garbage disposal. This is healthy. Or, if you want to be boring and actually care for your pet, you can give it cat or dog food. That works too. As you can see, we are feeding our trimming literal garbage, and it's totally fine with it. What a cool pet. When the day is over, you can enjoy being serenaded by your nocturnal pet's beautiful song. To prevent you from going insane, try feeding your trimming in the late morning or early afternoon. That way, it'll scream all through the day instead of at night. Exercise. Make sure your house is big enough for your trimming to roam around. If it's not, take it for regular walks. This also gives your trimming the opportunity to plot with its fellow conspirators, socialize in a natural and healthy manner. Just like nature intended. Want to play with your trimming? Too bad, he's not interested. However, trimmings enjoy pushing or pulling small items around, which will really mess up your house if they don't have enough toys. Additionally, trimmings enjoy watching TV and listening to the radio. I showed my trimming the entirety of One Piece, and I think he tried to strangle me in my sleep. To bathe your trimming, put it in the tub with warm water mixed with some body wash. Clean its feet, armpits, belly, and neck fold with a toothbrush, and gently rinse it off. Do not put it in the dishwasher. Make sure to pet and cuddle your trimming regularly. You can also talk to them. And that's it. Trimmings are easy to take care of with this guide, and now you're ready to adopt one of your very own. But before we go, are you tired of getting trimming hair everywhere? Is it in your carpet, on your clothes, and even in your food? Well, we've got just the product for you. Introducing the Trimmer. Trimmer, this thing. With a handy dandy easy peasy chimera, you can shave off all those pesky hairs, making your house hair free. We guarantee that after using this, your trimming will not shed at all. Buy now, and you'll also get our trimming comb. All for the low price of 6 easy payments of $49.99. So don't delay. Buy today. Giant meat snake. A big, fat, gross meat snake was found in an underground tunnel. It's just as bad as it sounds. The thing was too fat to even move, and for some reason smelled like scrambled eggs. It did not taste like them, though. Don't ask how we know that. A group of people managed to find the other end of the meat snake and found a giant pile of and then it just disappeared. That's right, a giant fat worm the size of Ohio stuck in a tunnel underground just vanished into thin air. We then see 2 people intelligently wandering around outside at night in mimic territory after one of their neighbors died under suspicious circumstances. Eventually, they make it to their destination, and we learn that their neighbor tragically committed suicide by shooting himself 12 times in the back of the head with a shotgun. Truly tragic. They then leave, and the guy suddenly disappears. We then see him on the ground, being assaulted by Gumby, apparently. Look, the special effects team didn't have a ton of budget, okay? The girl then somehow manages to outrun the mimic to her home, after which it breaks in and eats her. The end. Species Anomaly Report. Apparently, large numbers of harvesters have been moving to Hudson Bay.
Are you suggesting
Harvesters
migrate?
Not at all. They could be carried.
What? A swallow carrying a...
Harvesters
It could grip it by the husk.
It's not a question of where he grips it. It's a simple question of weight ratios. A 5-ounce bird could not carry a 1-pound...
Harvesters
Well, it doesn't matter. Will you go and tell your master that Arthur from the court of Camelot is here?
Listen, in order to maintain airspeed velocity, a swallow needs to beat its wings 43 times every second, right?
Please!
Am I right?
I'm not interested.
It could be carried by an African swallow. Oh, yeah, an African swallow may be, but not a European swallow, that's my point. Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
Will you ask your master if he wants to join my court at Camelot?
But then, of course, African swallows are non-migratory. Oh, yeah. So they couldn't be
Harvesters
back anyway. Wait a minute. Supposing two swallows carried it together? No, they don't have it on a line. Well, simple. They just use a strand of...
crawl.
What, held under the dorsal guiding feathers? Well, why not?
And then a bunch of people lose a fight with a plant. Is your food too boring? Want to spice up your diet? Try Nutri-Co's Flavor Enhancement Powder Deluxe. Put it in your cereal. Put it on your toast. Put it in your bed. Put it in your eyes. Put it on your kids. Get a spoon and just eat it straight out of the can. Inhale it. Inject it directly into your bloodstream. I use mine as deodorant. Anything will become edible with Nutri-Co's Flavor Enhancement Powder Deluxe. Expired food, silverware, literal garbage, Burger King, all edible now and delicious. Tons of uses. Slow internet, Nutri-Co's Flavor Enhancement Powder Deluxe. Annoying in-laws, Nutri-Co's Flavor Enhancement Powder Deluxe. Under arrest for war crimes, Nutri-Co's Flavor actually, maybe it can't help you there, okay. Our customers rave. I can't get the lid off. Tastes like chicken. I did not buy this product, so I'm giving it 0 stars. Gave me diarrhea. It's in my eyes! Ugh! Try it with classic recipes, such as unidentified soup-like substance, uncooked noodles, 4 unidentified tubules, a single piece of bread. Eat the play as well. Warning, do not use Nutri-Co's Flavor Enhancement Powder Deluxe if you are pregnant, nursing, or come from Chile. Do not distribute. The views and opinions expressed in Nutri-Co's Flavor Enhancement Powder Deluxe are solely those of the individuals expressing them and do not reflect the views or opinions of Nutri-Co. Please do not sue us. And now for a fun fairy tale. Once upon a time, during the travels, a great storm struck. It was so powerful, it swayed the boat, the royal family pushed the prince out. After being stranded at sea, the young prince eventually, was cast to an island. Injured, the prince stumbled his way into a nearby cave. The prince used what magic he could to put himself into a healing sleep. Slept for what seemed land around him changed, unrecognizable from when the prince first arrived, but the sleep still needed time to heal the prince. Holy cow, what did he have that took so long to heal? Ebola? Prince safe while he rested, guarding him from the elements. During a time of hardship, critters. The critters were struggling. Barely any food to go. Go and gather whatever they can. Although one day, the critters found the cave while searching for food. They found the prince in trance in his healing sleep and ate him. The end. No, wait, the critters were awestruck and enchanted by the prince's magic. Although, there is no way a bee should be able to fly. One day, the prince awoke suddenly, thanks to the critter's assistance. The healing process was finished very quickly. The prince had fully recovered, and was now fully awake and aware of their surroundings. The critters gave him a doctor's bill for $13,745,591, and then he killed them all. Just kidding. One of the creatures built up the courage to meet the now awake stranger. They crawled to the prince's side and extended their hand in friendship. The prince reached back, and together they had formed the bond. The critters led the prince out of the cave, up to the top of the hill. The prince had laid buried under, and showed them the forest. This is our home, full of wonder and beauty. Although the forest struggles to provide for all us critters, and we are facing disaster. Can you help us? And before him glue a bright light. Lights and figures. Brilliance. With the power he shall heal their home. Seriously, I have no idea how people deciphered this. The prince gathered what he could and then set sail onward. Once the prince returns home, they will come back to the island and return to the critters. Then, blah blah blah, I'm tired of reading this, the end. And then a guy gives a TED talk about conspiracy theories and asks for help, blah 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 blah. And finally, in the last video in the series, a bunch of military people attack a place called Facility Zero.
Eyes on the point. Clearing pathway now. Eyes are secure. Turning blind. Light's green.
Copy. Green light is a go. Begin phase 2 and...
Team in position. We are experiencing mechanical interference. Should we resume? Copy. Phase 3 is still a go. Preparing for breach.
Breach in 3, 2, 1. Breach.